Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
I'm too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my love. Love's going to leave me.
So do you like this better than the Skype?
I do, because I can see more of your naked body.
Ah, God, I thought I tilted the screen. I didn't think I tilted the screen that far down.
Yeah, well, it was nice of you to shave.
Which part?
I'll let the listeners think about that one, because I pushed record.
Oh, good. I heard that in these Zoom meetings, people are just wearing tops, because they're doing it from home. So they're sitting there in their pajama bottoms, but they get dressed like they're going to work and the top only.
Yeah. But have you seen the faux pas of people that don't know how to conference and don't know how to turn off their video and stuff, and they're in the restroom?
Yes. That one's also fun. And then I also really like the people who have like an inappropriate background or, computer background, and they're sharing their screen.
Yes. Yeah.
I've even seen a few where like you're sharing your screen, and on the tabs you can see someone has like a porn tab open up at the top.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious because I've been dealing with this stuff for a while, so I'm semi confident with it. But just seeing some of these just mistakes and people, oh my God, it's just amazing.
Well, actually, staying on that subject, because that was something I was going to bring up to you since we literally are talking about Zoom. Have you heard of the Zoom meeting drop-ins or these party crashers?
Yes, unless you set your room to have a code or like an approval like mine does. Yeah, they can just jump right in. It's kind of scary because my daughter uses this a lot for dance class right now.
Yeah, and I think I kind of like that it's open source. It reminds me of the old, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, they had these things called party lines, and you would hook up and you could kind of hear what everyone else in the neighborhood was talking on the phone. And in a way, I kind of like it. There's a little voyeurism in it that's kind of interesting. But if you were to have you thought about crashing any meetings? I mean, you have a lot of at home time. You ever thought about doing it?
Yeah. No, because I just don't want to. I don't know what I'll jump into. Now, if I didn't have children walking around my house all day long, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point. Just to see if you could join a business meeting and blend in, and then they call on you like, so I'm not sure your name, but you on the bottom right-hand corner, what do you have to say about this? And you go, well, the projections, I could see our fourth quarter earnings are, I think we should sell, or, just something like that.
Just be like, I'll take 32 black.
Yeah.
No, I mean, have you jumped around a little bit?
I did. I was playing around with it over the weekend just to see if I could join in any.
Are we still talking about Zoom?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I let me get back to that subject. No, I'm just
okay.
Yeah, no, I did. I tried to plug into a few. Wasn't successful, but my ideas were, I wanted to dress up. I have an old costume from a Halloween thing where it was kind of like a cop, like it looks very cop-like.
Oh, fun.
And I was going to dress up like a cop, and I wanted to call pretending like I'm trying to stop an execution, but I dialed the wrong number. No, so the governor says you stop the execution. He's innocent. We need it. Oh, wait, I have the wrong room. Oh, what time is it? Well.
Wait, East
Coast how's
time?
Everyone else doing? So I thought of doing stuff like that. And then I thought about wearing a rainbow wig with the John 3:16 sign and just sitting in the and like people's things, but never saying anything on the conference call. But I'm just like in baseball, I'm the John 3:16 rainbow wig guy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Or if you wasn't there an NHL guy that had like the yellow shirt or whatever that was on glass?
On every single one.
Yeah.
Or like I just thought of like just dressing up in weird random costumes, but not disturbing the meetings, just joining them and then sitting there and watching everyone stare at you in the corner.
Well, you have to let me know if you find one, because then I'll join and I'll do something really embarrassing thinking that I'm joining a meeting with you.
Yeah.
And you just sit there and you watch everything unfold. That would be hilarious.
That would be really good. And
I'd be like, oh wait, where did I put my underwear?
Well, I think that's kind of the future we're going to. You and I have talked about it, that, you know, when this coronavirus stuff is all faded away and we've moved on, a lot of us will have built new habits. And I think some of those new habits are these business meetings don't need to be held in person. So I think these kind of Zoom meetings and all the other different apps that they're using now, I think that's kind of here to stay, to be perfectly honest with you.
I agree with you. We've been, like I said, we've been using it for years with podcasting and stuff. So it's been something I'm familiar with, but I agree with you. I was even trying to convince my old employer to let some more people work remotely and things, and they, weren't allowing it.
Yeah, and I don't understand I'm kind of struggling with this at my work at the moment now too, where I kind of don't understand the negative side of it. I mean, when we're there, everyone's making copies in the copier. We're using electricity. You got people standing around gossiping by the water cooler. You got sexual harassment claims. You got what do they call it? Where like your work's a hostile work environment. All of these things you would delete from your life if you were a business. Think about never getting sued for a hostile work environment, or never getting sued for sexual harassment, or not having to pay the $50,000 a year in copy paper and toner, and all of these things. It's like, man, just tell the people to work from home. Not to mention, if you think about it, nobody should be late ever, because they'll be at their house. They'll just go to the office. You'll be able to pay them a little bit more or they're going to have a little bit more to spend because they're not spending money on gas or necessarily a car at some point. They can actually probably get rid of cars and live in different places. So they're giving an opportunity to not have car insurance and stuff like that. So then they can afford an office in their house and things. So I do definitely, I live in another state. That's what I'm saying. Like being from Kevin and Bean, who's living in Seattle. Yeah. Right. I mean, if the wife and I were able to just pick up and move to Texas right now, but I could still keep the same job and do the same things, which, by the way, I could literally do exactly the same. Me too. It would be very beneficial. So I don't know. I do think that it's here to stay somewhat. I also want to know when employers are going to finally embrace the, what do they call it? 4-10 work week. You work 4 days a week, 10 hours a day, and everyone gets kind of that 3-day weekend, and you could rotate it. You could have some people that get Mondays off and some people that get Fridays off, and you kind of have a mixed office there too. I think there's so many ways for a modern business to operate, and too many people are kind of stuck in the in kind of the past, unfortunately. But hey, maybe podcasting you guys will lead the revolution. Podcasting is kind of where a lot of this tech kind of came from. I mean, that's where it was being used earliest. Yeah, it was. I mean, in really expensive meetings or like some sort of concert or entertainment value for some of these conferencing. But yeah, it's just we've been using it to record audio forever. Like right now, people don't probably think that we're looking at each other, and I don't want to look at you and you don't want to look at me. So our videos are off. So we have better audio. So recording. But the one thing I did want to say, the CEO of Zoom, he's pretty happy though. Gotta be, right? Like what if it's the CEO of these internet-based meeting conference companies that started the coronavirus panic, right? Ooh. Maybe this is like we've watched enough movies where the leader of a corporation's the big evil bad guy that will step on anyone to get it, whatever. If you're telling me that you can go from a $10 million company to a $1 billion company, and all you got to do is release a deadly plague, I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's a good amount of businesses that would have released a plague. I agree, and they've been under the radar for a long time because everybody's been using Skype. But here's another thing I'm going to add on to that conspiracy, and this is from my wife and some other people that we know. Cats are the things that are distributing the coronavirus. They're saying stray cats are distributing it. They're saying cats have it. So there's cats around my neighborhood. So what you're saying is it's the pussy's fault.
I was saying cats, but you used another term.
I
So,
did
I
not.
mean,
I didn't say anything dirty.
I didn't say you did. I just said you used another term. But yes, that's the theory around the house. I'm not going to go
Good.
into depth on it.
I say we kill all cats.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I hate cats.
I didn't get that from the last sentence you just
Definitely.
said.
If between cats and dogs, I don't even know how it's like a contest.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have it.
Cats lick their own buttholes, and we think it's cute.
Dogs hump your leg.
Yeah, but that is kind of cute.
No, it's not. Not if they
I don't
finish.
know. Doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel good to be like, okay, if you're walking down the street and there's a really attractive woman and she gives you the second look where you know she was checking you out, that's a good feeling, right? Well, what if you're so attractive that multiple species find you attractive? I mean, that's really where, when I see a dog humping my leg, I think to myself, man, my hair must be looking good today.
Yeah, I know. You're just a little bitch. That's all.
Yeah, so is the dog that's humping my leg. So yeah, I do think the Zoom is going to keep going. I want to know, what is the first thing that you want to do though when all this is over? Like let's say they announce tomorrow, guess what? Everything's all cool. Everything's lifted. We're good to go.
I'm going to stay home and watch the internet explode with dumb people doing stupid things.
Yeah, which isn't hard to do.
No, which will be probably there'll be a plethora of them happening right when everybody's allowed to say they're allowed to leave their house.
I kind of want to go to a movie theater again. Like I really miss the theater movie going experience, especially because we really like Alamo Drafthouse in our family.
Yeah,
being able to go to that really nice theater would be probably the next one I'd want to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We really enjoy going out to eat. I mean, my other podcast is based around it. So we really like going out and the experience of being served and having a table service. And usually it's after a movie or something along those lines. So I would go out and do that right away. That's not the safest thing to do. That's probably why I wouldn't. But that's something that I'm missing a lot.
Even I work in the alcohol industry and I'm very tied into the restaurant industry as well.
I'm one of the biggest providers of business.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
You're a hero, sir. I'll tell you right now, something that people aren't really fully taking into consideration that we know in our industry is, even when all of this is relaxed and people are able to go out and do it again, there are still going to be restrictions. So I'll tell you right now, it's going to be, okay, we could all go to restaurants again, but restaurants, depending on their square footage, can only have, 5 customers in at a time.
No, it's going to be like Demolition Man. They're all going to be Taco Bells.
That would be the worst, because Taco Bell I'm not a fan of Taco Bell. Could they all be Del Tacos instead?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll settle for that then. Yeah, they have a much better combo meal menu. But no, I think that it's like, they're going to be like, I don't know if you've tried going to Costco or anything like that, but they have it where everyone waits outside in a line and they only let in like 50 people into Costco at a time. Yeah. That's how these restaurants are going to be. It's going to be, listen, your average restaurant that has 25 tables, you're only going to see 5 tables seated at a time, and you're going to have to wait until someone gets up and leaves before you get your table. It's going to be a nightmare. You're going to have 2-hour waits to get into a table, and I think a lot of people are going to give up on it and go home. No, I mean, this is going to take months and months and months to recover from, just because we open the doors again. Even a bar. Can you imagine going to a bar where they're like, well, only 5 people allowed in the bar at a time?
Well, not to mention a lot of these small and medium-sized bars, even some of these big chains, they're going to close down a lot of stores. The overhead's going to be too much for the amount of food they can put out. They're not going to be able to have, 50 people in the restaurant and 10 people in the line and people delivering, you know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot of loss. Like there's going to be a lot of strip malls that are going to be empty soon.
Oh yeah. Have you seen, because this is now the new popular thing. It's funny, when the year started, I was worrying about things like what new software upgrade should I get for my computer, and vacations in Italy. What is the best one to take? And now it's like 50 different ways to make your own mask at home. So right. It's funny how much things have changed in a few months. But have you guys done the making your own homemade survival masks or anything?
Oh, yes. My wife has made many of them. She's made a 99 one for her radio station for herself, and she's made the kids some. And they're fun patterns and things, but nobody's really leaving the house except for her to go to work, which will be stopping very soon, I heard. And then me to go get beer or a Rockstar.
Ooh, what if they just put beer in the Rockstar and then you're done? It's called Four Loko. So, yeah, we've been doing the mask thing too. We sewed them. A little tip for you people out there: grab some little herbs from your front yard, like the mint or rosemary, and put it in between when you sew it up. And that way, when you have the mask on, it has like a nice, pleasant smell to it.
Yeah, but what about the bugs that are going to be in there?
Well, you wash it off first, man. I mean, come on, we're not savages.
Okay, so what if you don't have a front yard to get mint?
You steal mint. Do I have to spell it out? I mean, come on.
Where would you steal mint? The mint store?
You don't have a mint district in your town?
I don't.
You go over. Listen. You go down to the mint district. Talk to Shelly. She owns Mints R Us. It's right next to Rosemary and Thyme. But if you it's around the back. I mean, I kind of like buying off of the mint district. I like going down the side streets, Herb Avenue, and that's really where I prefer to go. I mean, the big Mint Depot stores are just too corporate.
Okay, I can't follow that up.
You can't.
No,
but with
not worth my time.
The other thing I was thinking about was, what a perfect time to be a criminal, because everyone is walking around wearing masks, and it's like, if you were to ever walk into a liquor store wearing a mask, the guy's going to be hitting the alarm button before you even get in the door. He's going to see you coming from the parking lot, and nowadays you're like. Everyone is in fact, now they're staring at you if you're the one not wearing a mask. I mean, what a perfect time to be a criminal.
No, I thought it's funny you say that, because we think a lot alike. I've contemplated many of times walking in the store with my mask on and going, so how many times you freaked out, looked over thinking somebody's robbing the place?
Yeah, exactly.
The cashier. But I think that might tip them off to think that I might be robbing the place. So I decided not to every single time so far.
Yeah, and they got to be on edge a little bit, I'm sure, because people are going to start getting desperate. And I have a feeling liquor store robberies are going to rise. So especially with everyone able to wear a mask.
Yeah.
But so I was thinking about this. Okay, we've been doing this thing lately where we come up with a movie idea and then we cast the movie. So let's play cast the movie. Here's my movie idea. All right.
Okay.
Hooray for Hollywood! It's really got me. Hooray! 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 Hooray for Hollywood!
You are on the FBI's most wanted list and a pandemic breaks out. So you've been in hiding all these years, and then this pandemic comes out, and everyone's wearing masks, and everyone's wearing hoods, and everyone's covering their face up and everything like that. And you kind of feel, while everyone else is in a panic, this is the best time ever for you. You finally come out of hiding. You're walking the streets. Everyone's, cars are on fire and businesses are getting broken into. And you're the happiest go lucky person in the world. You're just strolling down the street, finally able to see the sunlight, finally able to come out. But wait a minute. You fall in love. Another girl who's also wearing a face mask. You guys fall in love, and you go through this whole story arc. And then the pandemic ends. Your love interest now finds out who you are, and she has to decide whether she turns you in or not when the pandemic is over.
Oh my God! This went from an action thriller, murder psycho to a rom-com.
Yeah, this is a full-on rom-com. It's an action rom-com. It's an act rom-com.
And actually, I'm going to change it a little bit. It's going to be a sci-fi act rom-com.
Ooh, a sci-fi rom-com.
Yeah, because it's going to have Tupac and Biggie and Elvis and all these dead people that we still think are alive show up, but they're going to have masks on. So is it really them? Or is it not really them? So there's going to be a lot of that play in there.
Oh, yes. But think about no, wait a minute. It's a group of wanted criminals that are all on the FBI's most wanted list, and they all reach out to each other saying, now's the perfect time to come out of hiding. And so it's like a conglomerate, like a group of them who've been in hiding for years.
It's like the Quarantine 3.
Ooh, there's your title right there, the Quarantine 3. And but the woman who, they decide to get a house in the big city because they've always been hiding out in farmlands and in the past. Now they're living in downtown Manhattan, and the lady who is renting them the place at the apartment building, she's very attractive, but they're always wearing masks, and they walk into each other on the elevator or what have you, and she suspects that something's up with them, but nah, they're all wearing masks. This is normal. This is okay.
So who's the building super then? I think the super would be somebody that has to be tough. I think Charlize Theron.
Someone who can kick some ass a little bit.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron could do it. I'm also thinking, oh gosh, who is the one in you could even do a ScarJo.
Yeah, you definitely could do a ScarJo there.
Or wait a minute, you could do Deny from The Walking Dead and the Avengers. She has that fierceness in her eyes and can be quite aggressive, and she wouldn't put up with any crap. I think she would probably be a good person to do this with. But I honestly, I think this is a winning combination. You could start doing movies about the pandemic that I think people want to go out and see.
Yeah, no, and I think the lead in this movie would have to be like an older actor because it's got to be this person that's been in hiding for a while.
He's been in hiding for like a decade.
So here I got Ray Liotta.
I was literally just about to say Ray Liotta. Wow, that was literally just about to say Ray Liotta. That's a good one.
Ray Liotta would be perfect.
Wait a minute, and maybe instead of Deny, I would say maybe Halle Berry.
Ooh, yeah. Oh no, you know who I was thinking?
Because then they're a little closer to the right age.
Yeah, age range. You're right. And then I was thinking if we are going to do the Q3, the other two would be like a Kevin Costner.
Yeah, but you got to have one guy that's kind of the cut up, like a Kevin Hart or someone who's like, because you got to have someone that could throw out one line zingers and add the levity. You know, you always need that one guy that's there for the humor.
Yeah, I think we need somebody that's kind of scrawny but smart enough that made it through. Like I was wanted when I was 27. You guys were wanted when you were 40. I've been hiding for a lot longer. I'm just not as old as you.
Right.
So like a Kevin Hart or Hannibal Burress would be really smart
because he has that kind of smart alecky quality where he could throw out zingers and all that kind of stuff.
But they're super like plain. They're like, yeah, no, that's why I did that.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
You dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good one. And then, but wait a minute. A conflict arises when the two of the three want to pull off another score. Now that they can walk around with these masks, they want to pull off a score. And the one guy, the Ray Liotta character, is kind of like, no, guys, I don't want to. I don't want to have to do this anymore. But the pressure's on because the other two want to do it. And does he do it? And it's got to be something where he's robbing something that would involve the Halle Berry character. Like it's her. She works at a freaking stockbroker firm, and they're going to be stealing stock certificates like in Die Hard.
I think we're leaning more toward Tower Heist right now with Eddie Murphy.
But anyways, well, there you go. And I like your movie. We call it Q3, the Quarantine 3.
Yeah, it'll be like Ocean's 11, but we couldn't afford that many actors.
Ocean's 11 on a smaller budget. I think that was good.
3.
I think that was good.
Cool.
Did you see that countries, I know we just passed April Fools, did you see that countries and some states were promising jail time for coronavirus April Fools pranks?
No, how'd you get away with it?
I didn't. And what's funny is I was banned from pulling pranks on my family years ago because I kept doing it and they.
Yeah, you're an asshole about it.
Totally.
You filled your mom's car with water.
I did fill the car with water. I converted someone's El Camino to the back into a fish tank. I lined everything, and I bought, I probably bought 150 goldfish. I covered it in sand. I put like it was the bottom of a fish tank, and I put all the goldfish in there. And I put plexiglass over the top of the El Camino so that, I mean, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on pranks. But this year, they all specifically reached out to me to said, I know you're thinking of coming out of retirement. Don't do it this year. So because I really was. It's like, you know what? I've laid low on this April Fool's thing for a long time. No one's suspecting a thing. I should totally do something big. But then with everything that's going on, I think everyone was just like, Eric, now is not the time. Wait one more year. So I think next year I'm going to have to plan something big because I've been in semi-retirement for about 5 or 6 years now.
No, but this is the dilemma for the movie. This is the dilemma for the guy. He's like, I have to come out and I have to prank my family again. They think I'm dead. Oh my God.
That's right. They think I'm dead. You keep taunting them. You show up standing behind them in the grocery line at the grocery store.
Yeah.
You ask them, you say things like, excuse me, ma'am, that's more than 15 items. But it's like, you're really talking to your sister or
Yes.
something that you're not quite letting her know that you're alive, but you're interacting
You
with
kind of walk by and you go, the yellow glasses we had when we were young, and then she's like, what? And you just
and then
keep
that's where the
walking.
Hannibal Burress character would be good, because he's making the smart ass comments like, I always had the hots for you, and then you're like hitting him and going, shut up, man, that's my sister. I mean, no, I don't know you, what are you talking about?
In Hannibal's cover is the grocery store manager.
See, this movie writes itself.
I like it. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Okay. No, I was just saying, but I think it's funny that you could get jailed for pulling pranks. And I think we're watching, and this isn't really a political thing. This is just, we're watching our freedoms go away. Like look how easily we're all willing to give up our freedoms in return for what we think is safety from the government. So they say things like, guess what? You can't leave your house or you'll be arrested unless you have a note saying you're going. It's like, man, that's like pretty damn close to a dictatorship. Like that's if they could take away your freedoms at any time, then you don't really have those freedoms to begin with.
I agree, William Wallace. That's definitely a really good thing to say. I agree. It's going to be when this all can go back to normal, which is going to be 6-8 months down the road, if not longer. If we're allowed the same freedoms, that's what's going to happen. And with all these bills that are being passed super fast to try to get money and funds to people to help with this COVID-19 and this crisis, the pandemic, they're also pushing other stuff through that people aren't paying attention about, which is like gun control.
Yeah, they're not even reading it. They're just passing it through.
Yeah,
it's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what we haven't been able to do in a while? Besides,
introduce ourselves, because we haven't done that yet.
I was hoping we would go the whole show and not do it. I'm Eric Leckie, and I can be found on Twitter at Sinatra's Rat Pack.
I'm Chris Donovan, Chris_Donovan on Twitter.
And this is We Should Be Better at This.
Yeah, go to This Is Funner to check out all the other podcasts and stuff. And, don't die. Wash your hands.
But something we haven't been able to do in a while is let's talk some sports.
Really?
There's not many sports news. Yeah, but wait a minute. There is
curling
some news.
back?
Curling, hot curling action, everybody. No, did you see that the MLB has made a proposal?
Yes.
Where they think they can play all of the games in Arizona, because there is, I believe, 12 spring training facilities there. Plus, you have Chase Field. So that's 13. So that means 26 teams can play on the same day. If you are willing to do a schedule, so, a couple teams get left out. You don't play every day, maybe. They would test the players before every game with that rapid test that gives you a result within a few hours. All the players would have to be willing to be secluded on their own. They would live in certain hotels. And the other thing they like about this plan is that all of these spring training fields and Chase Field are all within 25 to 30 miles of each other.
Yeah.
So it would cut down on the travel so that, they're not taking planes and stuff like that.
No extra risks.
No extra risk. And they think that this would be a way that they can start playing baseball in May. Now, me personally, while I am anxious to see some hot baseball action, I would love it. I don't think this is a scenario that can work. I mean, I don't think they fully thought it through. What do you do with the players' wives and the kids? Do they have to come out there and be in quarantine?
Well, I mean, which ones? The ones he lives with, or the ones he lives with?
Or his secret family? Right. Yeah, does his mistress get their own room? I mean, that's... and then there would be no one in the stands. And then they also said that to keep the players apart in the dugout, instead of using the dugout, the players would sit in the stands on different rows. And when it's their turn to bat, they would just come down onto the field from the stands.
They're going to televise this, right?
Yeah, because they want to, and honestly, it's a smart move, at least from the standpoint of, and you and I have talked about this previously, if there was a sport on TV right now, and I mean a live sport,
any sport,
it would get all the ratings from the guys. Baseball has been really struggling to capture a younger audience and to get new people watching because the games are long and a little boring. Imagine being the only game in town, literally, and everyone's like, I used to watch baseball back in the day, but screw it. It's the only thing on. Sure, I'll watch a Boston Red Sox Detroit Tigers game because it's on and it's live and it's actually happening. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're hearing other people talk live too, so it's kind of you're getting that outside feel like you're I'm guessing commentary people, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So
they said the commentary people would also have to be willing to be secluded and quarantined to be out there. They also said to help spice it up that they would put mics on the field so that you could hear the players talking to each other, since there won't be any fan noise, just because they don't want it to be totally silent.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Don't tell the players.
Cool things. Yeah.
Don't tell the players and be like, hey, you see your wife yet? Nah, just my girlfriend. Oh, yeah?
Well, the microphones would be able to pick up on the banging of the trash cans from the Houston Astros and all that. But I think that in concept, it's a decent idea because it would be great to have sports again. And it's one of those sports that I think you could pull off. I mean, I can't picture how they could play basketball or football. That's just too much of a contact.
Too much
sport.
contact, yeah.
Too much contact. Even soccer, I don't think you could really do. But like you got sports like tennis, golf, and possibly baseball, where besides when the batter is standing next to the catcher, they're not really interacting any other time.
No, just when they're running by you on like first base.
But they're running by you as long as someone's not spitting at your face as you're walking. They even said that they would have the umpires standing way farther back and just using an electronic strike zone and calling balls and strikes that way.
Oh, I figured they'd be wearing like the outbreak suits from the movies.
That would actually be way more entertaining.
I'm telling you, there's so many different ways they could like change a few rules to have more fun watching it. But my thought when you first said this was, one, too many moving parts, probably not safe. But two, there's still a chance I might be able to play in the MLB if I just, blow up Arizona in a few months.
That's a good idea. I mean, when they just
completely... You're a gimp, but
yeah,
I got a chance.
And then what do you? Okay, here's another question. Injuries always happen, right? Or I mean, especially with pitchers. So let's say you're the starting pitcher for the Angels. You're Andrew Heaney of the Angels, and oh man, I got a little shoulder inflammation. Normally, you'd be sent down to the minor leagues, and they'd call someone up. Well, how do you call someone up if they haven't also been quarantined? And where do you go? Because you can't get sent down to the minors. So what do you do? Sit in your hotel room while you wait for your arm to feel better? I mean, I just think that there's so many aspects of this that
it's gonna be like the first few years when you're in rec ball where they use a pitching machine for the first half of the game, and they only bring in like a pitcher late in the game to speed if they have time. That'd be kind of cool.
Or let's just do live home run derbies. Like just once a week, a different home run derby, but instead of the batting coach throwing it, it's a real pitcher against a real batter, but there's no players on the field. It's just pitcher batter trying to hit home runs. The other guy's trying to strike him out, and all the money goes to charity. Like every strikeout the pitcher gets is $1,000 for a charity, and every home run is $5,000 for a charity. And it's just the best pitchers going up against the best hitters. And you could do it with so minimal people, and you just have these matchups.
Yeah. And then there's, 3 people in the outfield shagging. That's it.
Yeah. That's it.
That'd be fun. I would do it. I would totally do that.
This isn't necessarily SMRT. This is just news in SMRT, but go ahead and play the SMRT. I love that opening.
I am too smart. I am too smart. SMRT. I mean SMART.
All right, I got a couple for you.
All right.
Because there's a lot of news going on. Have you seen, I wonder, New Jersey, it's called Stop and Disperse. New Jersey is using drones to yell at people who are not social distancing. So it says the police department has been using drones with a recorded message from the mayor. I'm telling you, we are so close to living in like Escape from LA or Escape from New York. It's
Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd. All of these are literally looking like documentary films.
Demolition Man.
This is all going to happen. It says their recorded message from the mayor telling residents to socially distance and go home. It's a tactic that was first used by China because, that's a country I want to copy all of my freedoms from is China. Because, if there's people who know all about freedoms and social interaction, it's those Chinese.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think about that? What would you do if a drone flew over your head and told you to break up the group of people you were talking to?
I don't know. I don't know how I would react at first. I think it would kind of depend on how much alcohol I've consumed up to that point in that day.
How would they even track you?
They have to be controlling it, right?
Finger. Yeah, they have to be. But let's say the thing, it's above your head and it says, please disperse and leave the area. What if you just gave a big middle finger to it and you're like, fuck you, drone?
What do you think? You don't think they have facial recognition already with all this Facebook
Everyone's wearing a mask.
Oh.
And it's our group of 3.
I'd hit it with a baseball bat.
It's the Q3s.
It's the Q3.
Yeah, it's the Q3 people, and they're all wearing masks. No, you know what you do? You act like you can't hear the drone, and you cup your ear, and then the drone gets a little lower, and then you cup your ear. I can't hear. Wait, what? And then when it gets low enough, then you hit it with a baseball bat.
Then somebody comes from the other side and goes yah on it. Then they televise that, and the MLB is still legitimate.
There you go. And I'll tell you, there's a few states that I would not try that in. Texas.
Oh yeah, Texas.
Maybe in certain parts of California, where someone's just going to pull a gun and shoot the freaking drone.
Washington State is probably not a good place to.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. And there's some states where they're like, yes, sir, I'll do what you say, drone, sir. And then other ones where like you got 50 people all firing their weapons at the drone.
Yeah, and all hitting it.
And hitting it because they got steals. I got another one here for you. This is another story.
All right.
American Airlines, and man, I had been dealing with this with all my business travel. So when you buy the cheap seat, when you buy the cheapest seat,
yes,
what they essentially do is they're doing this thing over the past year where they don't assign you a seat. So you don't know what your seat is until you get there. And they always shove you in a middle seat because no one ever selects a middle seat. And they always shove you in the back of the plane. So it's their way of saying, oh yeah, you want a cheap fare? Well, you're sitting in the middle and in the back. And it's, it's kind of a shitty thing to do, but it's how they've been doing it for the past year.
Yep.
So apparently American Airlines had only sold 8 tickets for this entire flight, but everyone had bought the cheap ticket. So they shoved all 8 people on the same 2 rows, all in the far back of the plane, and the completely rest of the plane was empty. And they started arguing, and they basically said that, sorry, there's nothing we can do. And the flight attendant who finally relented and said, you know what? You guys should be spaced out. No one's supposed to be together anyways. She spaced them out. Someone else on the plane reported her, and she was fired. The flight attendant.
Whoa. Okay. Wait. Why was she fired?
Because she broke their protocol and allowed them to sit in different seats.
Oh, see, that's just dumb. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
it says she was fired within 24 hours of that story leaking.
And now she's suing them, and she's going to make lots and lots of money.
And and screw you, airline industry. You want a $30 billion bailout? Excuse me, $50 billion bailout from us, the taxpayers. But you've been charging baggage fees and
convenience fees and recharging fees. Yeah, like, oh, you want a blanket? Cool, yeah, it's $27. All right, cool.
Well, you heard that another people that want bailout is Ticketmaster, and I said we should give them a bailout, but we should tell them that it's a $5 billion bailout, but after fees and charges, it's only $5 is all they get.
Yeah, right. That would be amazing.
Like, yes, Ticketmaster, sign right here. You this is your $5 billion bailout, and then they'll get the check for $5, and they'll say, "What's this?" And you go, "Oh, well, all of the convenience fees and printing fees and zone fees, every fee that they can come up with a name for,
every fee that they've given us." Yeah. See, now this is the reason you should have won when you ran for whatever office you ran for. The only reason you should have won. But I mean,
let's face it. All right, I got one more for you. Because we haven't done a Florida story, and I think that's like a requirement in this segment.
Yes.
All right. Florida man and daughter hit with a baseball bat after warning a group about social distancing.
Oh, my God.
A Florida woman and her 61-year-old father were hit in the head with a baseball bat after approaching a group of college people telling them that they should be social distancing. The attack happened Saturday in Wisteria Island, which is just off of Key West. They left both victims with head injuries. The 21-year-old woman told police that she and her father were on a boat at about 7:30 p.m. when they saw 20 people drinking on the beach. There was a stay-at-home order issued in Florida on gatherings of 10 or more people. The woman said she and her father confronted the group about social distancing and asked them to keep the noise down. And one of them grabbed a baseball bat and struck both victims in the head.
Wait. How did they jump on the boat?
I think they came onto a dock.
So then they docked the boat and then went over there and confronted them.
And said, hey, guys, you guys shouldn't be around. So they not only pulled out the bat and hit them, they ran to the dock, hopped on boats, and drove off, and no one caught them.
There's a theme to this show. It's bats, baseball, and getting hit with them.
Yes.
Okay,
that ties everything together nicely.
so I get it. They were all wearing masks, probably, so nobody knows who they were.
No one knows who they are, and they all took off on boats. But first of all, I don't care if it's the pandemic or the apocalypse or what. I would never go to a group of 20 college-aged bros who are probably hammered on the beach and tell them anything. I wouldn't tell them the sky is blue. I wouldn't tell them that they dropped $5 and here it is. I'm a good citizen. I wouldn't even talk to them.
But why?
You're asking for trouble. You're asking.
They had backup. 61-year-old grandpa is what the name was?
61-year-old and a 21-year-old.
Yeah, 61-year-old grandpa's probably up there all like, oh, no, go ahead, son. You tell them. And then they start beating him up and he's like, oh, man.
Yeah, and I want to know, why were they sitting on a beach with a baseball bat? Like, who did they were they carrying that around as if this was like the movie
Warriors?
The Warriors? You know, was it just hey, we're a bunch of street punks and we're going to be out bashing people with bats? This isn't Clockwork Orange.
It's weird too, because the age, the average age over in Florida is like 75. So how did all these?
That would have made the story so much better if it was a senior citizen home and it was like a bunch of like 80-year-olds that like started wailing on them with bats.
Yeah, they're like, oh my God, so many walkers were thrown. It was not a sight.
It was a travesty. Tennis balls started flying off the ends of the walker. I mean, they were everywhere. It was a.
There, I mean, it was hard to tell, but it depends that some of the adults might have had some problems. That'd be funny.
Oh, right.
Shit.
That's it for me.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I'm just stuck in quarantine recording podcasts and putting them out.
Yeah, well, hey, everybody. Speaking of podcasts, go to thisisfunner.com and see all of the marvelous podcasts. There are about 10 podcasts up there. 9 of them are fantastic. 1 of them is horrible. I'll let you decide.
I don't even think there's 9, but I like that sell. That's going to be our new tagline. Yeah. Some of them are good, but not all.
Yeah. Have you ever seen, like, there's I can't remember the strip club's name, but it was, their advertisement is, we have 10 beautiful girls and 1 ugly one, or something like that. Like, that's like their tagline. Or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that was such a great tagline.
I love it. Wait. Strip clubs are probably closed too, huh?
I wouldn't know anything about that. What's a strip club?
Oh, it's like a strip mall.
And it's just a club. Okay.
Yeah, it's where they all go to hang out.
Okay, good.
Okay. Go to thisisfunner.com. Our jokes are getting worse, as quarantine goes.
It's quarantine, yes.
And then hit us up. Like I said, Chris_Donovan on Twitter, and you can find him at Sinatra's Rat Pack.
And please, everybody, listen to the new podcast called Listen to This, a themed podcast where we have a different theme every episode and we tie a bunch of music together using that theme. And hopefully you learn something along the way. It's a great little podcast. We're having a lot of fun doing it.
That's right. He uses the same rope he ties his wife up with.
That's right.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys later.
Talk to you later.
For pussycat, I'm too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my love. Love's going to leave me. And I'm too sexy for this song. This is Funner.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.